Okay, so get this right. We were diving deep right into this text, 10 assets that can make you rich. And man,
Some of these are really interesting.
yeah, some of them are, well, let's just say not what you'd expect, right? Like your network being an asset.
I know,
I
right?
mean, we all know real estate. That's like the classic wealth builder. But some of these are a bit more outside the box.
Definitely. And it's not just about listing these assets, it's about like really understanding what makes them valuable.
Exactly. It's about the why, the strategy behind it all. So are you ready to like redefine what wealth means?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right. So first up, let's tackle the entrepreneurial dream, right?
Yeah.
Owning your own business.
Yeah.
This text really hammered home the idea that businesses, successful ones at least, they solve problems.
Yeah, for sure. Like they
Okay.
find a need in the market and they fill it.
Exactly.
It's like, think about like meal delivery apps. I mean, those exploded in popularity.
Oh, totally.
And it's because they solved a problem. People wanted like good food, restaurant quality food, but they didn't want to, leave their homes.
Convenience, right?
Exactly.
And that need, that desire for convenience,
Yeah,
it created a massive market.
absolutely.
It's pretty amazing when you think about it.
And then, once your business is making money, that's when the real magic happens. You can reinvest those profits.
You mean like make that money work for you?
Yeah. It's all about like compound growth. We'll definitely talk more about that as we go through these assets.
Got it. Okay, so moving on to something a bit more traditional, right?
Yeah.
So real estate,
The classic.
the classic wealth builder for sure. And this text mentions three main types, right? Residential, commercial, and industrial.
Yeah. And with real estate, I think the key is really understanding the market. Like what's happening in a specific area? Is it growing? What's the demand like for certain types of properties?
Yeah, it's not just about buying any property. It's about buying the right property at the right time.
Exactly. You got to do your research. Maybe we'll even do a whole deep dive on just real estate sometime.
Oh, I'd be down for that. Okay, so let's shift gears a bit now and talk about the world of finance.
Stocks, bonds, mutual funds, all that.
Exactly. So for people who might not be familiar with these, can you break it down a bit?
Yeah, so basically these are ways to invest in companies or even governments. Like
Yeah.
when you buy stock in a company, you're basically buying a tiny piece of ownership.
Okay.
And stocks, they have the potential for like really high returns, but they also come with higher risk.
So higher risk, higher reward.
I got it.
What about bonds?
Bonds are a bit different. They're more like loans. You're lending money to a company or a government, and they promise to pay you back with interest.
So bonds are a bit more stable.
Yeah, generally they're considered less risky than stocks, and they provide a more predictable income stream.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, mutual funds, those have always intrigued me. It's like you're investing in a bunch of different things all at once, right?
Mhm. Exactly. It's like instead of just ordering one dish at a restaurant, you get a whole buffet.
I like that analogy.
Yeah, so with mutual funds, you're spreading your investment across many different companies or industries, which helps to like reduce your overall risk.
Diversification. Okay, this next category is one I'm really curious about, commodities. We're talking gold, oil, coffee beans even, like tangible goods. What makes them valuable as assets?
Commodities are interesting because they can be a hedge against inflation.
A hedge against inflation.
Yeah, so like when the price of oil goes up, right, well, that affects the cost of transportation, which then drives up the prices of, well, almost everything, food, clothing, you name it.
Right.
But if you own commodities like oil, those price increases can actually be beneficial for you financially.
Huh. I never thought about it that way. Okay, so the next asset on the list, I gotta be honest, it kind of threw me at first.
Which one?
Cash.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, cash is important, sure, but is it really an asset that can build wealth?
It might seem counterintuitive, but cash represents something super important, and that is liquidity.
Liquidity.
Yeah, it's like the ability to act quickly, when an opportunity presents itself. Having cash reserves gives you like peace of mind and flexibility. Let's say I don't know, you're looking to buy a property and suddenly it goes on sale. Well, if you have cash on hand, you can jump on that deal, potentially turn a profit.
It's about being ready to seize the opportunity when it arises.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. So for all the entrepreneurs out there, this next one's for you, right? Equipment and accessories.
Yeah, this is all about investing in the right tools for the job. The text emphasizes how the right equipment can boost your productivity, make you more efficient.
Work smarter, not harder.
Exactly. It's like if you're a baker and you invest in a high quality oven that can bake more goods in less time, well, that's a huge advantage.
Absolutely. It's about having the right tools to get the job done and to get it done well. Okay, speaking of smart moves, let's talk intellectual property.
Patents, trademarks, copyrights, all that fun stuff.
Yeah. This stuff can be incredibly valuable, but it can also be kind of confusing.
Yeah, for sure.
Can you break down, like, why it's so important to protect your ideas, your brand?
It's all about ownership, right? Like
Yeah.
if you have a brilliant idea, a unique product, you want to make sure you have the legal rights to it. Otherwise, someone else could come along and profit from your hard work.
Right.
And intellectual property can generate passive income through licensing agreements.
Licensing agreements.
Yeah, like think about the, what was it, the fidget spinner craze a few years back.
Oh, yeah.
That was huge, and the company that designed that, they had a patent on it. They made a fortune just by licensing that design to manufacturers all over the world.
Wow. So they didn't even have to make the fidget spinners themselves. They just earned the idea.
Exactly. That's the power of intellectual property.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot of tangible assets so far, things you can like hold in your hand. But now let's dive into something a bit more intangible, building a brand.
Right.
We all have brands that we love.
Yep.
What is it about certain brands that create that kind of loyalty, that connection?
A strong brand builds trust, I think. It creates a sense of connection with the customer. Like, think about a company like, say, Apple. Their brand represents, like, innovation, quality, a certain aesthetic,
Yeah.
and people are willing to pay a premium for that feeling, that association.
It's about more than just the product itself. It's about the feeling, the experience.
Exactly.
Okay, so this next one really surprised me. Your network as an asset. Like, what does that even mean?
It's about recognizing the value of relationships, Your network is like this web of connections, and each person brings something unique to the table, knowledge, skills, resources.
It's about who you know.
In a way, yeah. But it's also about what you can learn from those people, how you can collaborate, how you can support each other.
It's about mutual benefit.
Yes.
Like that.
Yeah.
Okay, last but not least, we got to talk about something that's become super relevant in this digital age, right? Content as an asset. We're talking blogging, video creation, podcasting, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
What makes this an asset that can build wealth?
Well, I think it's incredible how content creation has become a legitimate way to generate income. If you create like engaging, high quality content that people want to consume, you can make money through, advertising, sponsorships, maybe even subscriptions.
Like the modern day version of owning a printing press, right?
Exactly.
You're creating something valuable that people want to access. So we've covered a lot of ground here. 10 very different paths to building wealth.
A lot to think about.
What stood out to you? What sparked your curiosity?
For me, it's just a reminder that there's no one right way to build wealth.
Definitely. It's all about finding what aligns with your interests, your skills, your goals.
Absolutely.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, here's a final thought for everyone out there. We've been talking about owning assets, tangible and intangible, but what about owning your time? Maybe that's the most valuable asset of all. Something to think about.